Project Sapient is a podcast meant to engage our brothers and sisters in the law enforcement and military communities in conversations that we all know we need to have. All opinions you'll hear are our own, are protected by our First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and in no way reflect or are meant to reflect the opinion of any specific agency, officer, or service member. Some opinions may be controversial. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy.
Hey, I did not do my vocals that I usually do before the episode.
Okay, we need to do our exercises.
Yes, hang on.
You ready?
Me.
A box of mixed biscuits.
Murder, she wrote. Murder, she... Yep, okay, that's the right pitch.
People are going to fucking section us, dude.
Yeah,
guys,
well.
Project Sapient, thank you for making us the #1 military and law enforcement podcast on the planet. We got a bunch of news for you guys today. This is going to be, I think, episode 101 or 102, maybe?
101, but Pete did fuck up on the episode. So for those listening to our last episode, on Apple, it shows up like episode 96. It should be 100.
Just leave me alone.
Fault.
Leave me alone. I'll fix it, and you guys can fuck yourselves if you don't like it. Check out our website, guys, projectsapient.org. Email us at projectsapient2020@gmail.com. We want to thank our thousands of listeners worldwide, tens of thousands at this point. We have awesome new supporters. We have an awesome coupon code for people. We have AAA Police Supply. Go to AAAPoliceSupply.com. That's AAA PoliceSupply.com and enter code Project Sapient to save 20% off your entire cart. That's AAAPoliceSupply.com and enter Project Sapient into the coupon code. We got DCD Automotive, which is the Boch Group, Vector Shields, Gym Junkies, Havoc Journal, Second Mission, Live Boston, Wellness for Warriors, OD Kit, Eagle Eye Firearms, GunTrack.app, Hule Law, Fit Cops 22 Mohawk, and Joint Operations. We love you. So.
Yes, buddy.
That was in one breath. I did all of that in one breath. Are you proud
that's
of me?
why we do the exercises. The exercises.
It's like I'm going to fucking labor. So, tell me what you got today, buddy.
All right. So today be another segment for our calling out asshole leaders in the police world and, bad organizations and, how they treat their shit, how shitty they treat their own, essentially. So KP actually got us in touch with Anthony. And we'll bring Anthony on, actually, and we'll have him say hi to everybody. Hello, Anthony.
Anthony, you there?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
What's up, buddy?
I'm good, man.
So, we got you on the line. You want to tell us a little bit about, a little bit of background, whatever you're comfortable giving, whatever you're not, don't. And then let us know, KP introduced us to you, so you have the floor, sir. I mean, the show's for you.
Yeah, so before, just real quick, we'll do a quick thing, bio kind of. You were 9.5 years on Eastchester PD.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when did you go to the academy?
I went to the academy in 2012 of July.
Okay. What was the academy like?
It was good, man. It was a great time.
Yeah. Are you deposing the fucking kid?
I am. Listen,
Jesus Christ.
We just spoke about my relationship with my wife and how I get cross-examined, and she's going to hear this.
You sounded like you're deposing him. Right? Jesus. Your wife's going to be like, you weren't brutal enough.
Yeah, I know. Well, my son does tell my wife that she likes to make people cry, which is hilarious to me. But anyways, back to Anthony.
Anthony, go for it, bro.
Yep. So academy was good for you. So during your time as a cop, police officer, tell us how it started, how if you got into any specialty units, stuff like that. Go right ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, just thanks for having me on. That's number one. It takes a lot to finally be able to speak out on a bunch of things. And I just want to make it loud and clear because I know, in the cop world, it's like, people are telling on people. It's not like that. I'm not speaking for any other jurisdiction, but what I went through and what I experienced and what is continually going on. So I just want to get that out there. And I just want to be able to help other officers who are going through similar issues and who don't know, especially in the Westchester County area, because of one simple thing, which is the Westchester County Police Act of 1936, which applies to the towns and villages especially. And it basically gives the right to the town to fire you
for no reason.
Yeah, they basically give you a punishment. They use the Garrity hearings as a way of getting you as a liar, and then they use, well, you could take the punishment or you can go into this hearing. We'll afford you a hearing, and when you go into it, it's, you know, everyone's in there, paid off witnesses, hearing officers paid by the town, lawyers are paid by the town. They won't allow you witnesses. They won't allow you anything.
It's all one-sided structured, basically.
100%.
So much for due process.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it's 100%. And that was actually supposed to be, I believe, repealed and revised by the late Governor Andrew Cuomo, but obviously we know that didn't happen. So
yeah, he hasn't fucked anything up in the last few years, right?
So, right.
No pun intended. Anyways, so there's, well, clearly we don't know much about Westchester because we didn't know about this act that
right
back in 1936 that they haven't even revised yet. And again, it goes into how some old antiquated laws, you know, need that revamping.
Why life isn't the same from 1936 to 2021?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right.
So you started off. I'm going to assume patrol.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I was a patrol officer when I first got out of the academy. I was used, you know, for like narcotics, things like that. Nobody knew me in town. I wasn't from the town. I didn't grow up in the town. I didn't go to school in the town. I worked for the town and I knew people, but I didn't grow up there. So they saw it was a good fit for it, and I had a good time working with the people that I did. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know, you go into this field and you think it's all, you know, action movies. You know, you're going to be running around, running and gunning, all this kind of crazy stuff, and then you realize that there's more to it than just that. And
a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. You know, you get used to that because you have to, so you get used to it.
Yep.
But then, you know, it comes to a point where, like, especially for me, where, you know, I was just going in doing my job, and this new lieutenant gets promoted to this patrol division spot, and all of a sudden it just becomes about numbers. You know, I mean, there's no complaints, no nothing coming in. All of a sudden he's bringing up complaints about people's numbers and about what they're doing and how they're doing it, and, you know, things like that. And that's what started to really become an issue.
So how many officers do you have at the police department?
I believe there's like 50, but I don't know what the capacity is now. I don't know if we're down to like what were 40s and something like that.
Okay, so smaller, medium-sized department, I'll say. Yeah. So you're there. So this lieutenant who newly got promoted, did you know him before he got promoted?
No, I didn't know him. Apparently, he's been a lieutenant for a while. He just got put into that.
Oh, he just got put. Okay, so he's not like a sergeant.
Patrol division, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Did you hear anything about him from the other divisions?
No, I didn't know the guy. Okay. I interviewed with him. I didn't know anything about him. I thought everybody was a stand-up, you know, kind of person. And again, I had no ill feelings towards him even when this was going on, because I just figured, hey, he's administrator. This is what they have to do, and every boss has things that they have to do, you know what I mean?
Right.
But when it became like a mission now, specifically going on specific guys, including myself, and it started to become a repetition and a repetition and repetition, it's like, dude, what's going on here now? You felt
that it was and tell me if I'm wrong, you felt that it was becoming less of like an administrative thing and more of a targeting thing.
Right. That's exactly what it started to become.
So give us just examples in terms of numbers. Like what was it he was going after? Like what was it he was looking for or whatever?
Well, number one, when I first got on in the field training, you know, our field training officers, you know, were pretty good. And, you know, the thing was, you know, try to write 1 and 1 a day. That's what they would tell us, right? Run a 1 a day, but don't be a superstar. You know, come in with like around 10-ish, you know, vehicle and traffic tickets, maybe, you know, a couple of parking tickets, and you're good to go, man. Anything above that, you know, you're a superstar. So it sounds right. Yeah. So it sounds like, all right, that's doable. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not.
Yeah.
So, you know, it became, you know, you were doing that, but then it became, well, you're a young guy and you should be coming in with more than that, double than that. You know, it's like, okay.
You should be coming in more than that.
Yeah.
Like,
right. So, you try and go out and do what you can, I mean, you can't make these things up. You can't make them appear to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when it started getting really bad, when they put out a color-coded chart.
Interesting.
That was only specific to that was specifically for patrol, and it was left at the dispatch desk. Only a copy was there, so you could see where you were at. And I mean, red, blue, green, orange, yellow, whatever colors they had, they all meant something, and we didn't really know what they meant because we didn't have the code.
Yeah. So it was like an internal thing amongst right. Bosses.
Right. So we just guys kept doing their thing. I kept doing my thing, and then I started working some midnights, and there's less traffic on the midnights, less things on the midnights, but you get your calls, so you kind of keep up the volume. And then they would bring you in and kind of talk to you like, hey, how's everything going? Just want to touch base with you. You've been working mids. Fine, it's all good. But then it started to become, well, hey, so I noticed you were in red. Yeah, I was in red the first week. I'm in the third week of this month now. I'm not red anymore. Like,
right.
I worked a couple of days. I had a couple calls. I couldn't really write anything, and then it was like, they didn't care. Like, he didn't care. It just became, well, you were in red, but my book here, I see my numbers is I'm not in that anymore. And that started becoming the issue of everything until NYPD sued the city. Well, the officers from NYPD, I believe it was the 12 officers from the NYPD that sued the city for ticket quotas. And that was one of the biggest things in it was the color-coded chart. Once that started going around, that went right away.
They were using the same thing.
So with NY, so explain the color. So I take it then you got a little more information about the color code. So what did they exactly mean?
So, I was trying my hardest to get a copy of it because it had my name on it, and I wanted a copy of it. And I thought it would be in my file at one point. I thought it would be, just something around, but nobody wanted to give it to me. And then, of course, it doesn't exist.
Of course, that doesn't exist. Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing about it is that,
you saw it.
I not only did I see it, but there's emails that say it does exist.
So let me ask you a question. How does it work with the Freedom of Information Act? Like, even that stuff is internal, but even if it's internal, the second that it's going,
you can still get it.
Yeah, even though it's going through emails and all that stuff, you can still get it. It's freedom of information.
Yeah.
So with like color red, what did that mean?
I don't know off the back of my hand, but I think red was like you were very low and you had to see the administrating lieutenant. And then like yellow was like you're going into the office, and like it wasn't for us, it was for the sergeant. So we really couldn't find out what it meant. Nobody really knew in a sense. But they existed, and then they don't exist.
How many sergeants in your PD? In the PD, do you remember?
Oh man, I think there was it was 8.
8 sergeants. Okay, so and with the 8 or 9, did they all just kind of follow suit with whatever the lieutenant said in terms of, hey, you need to talk to this guy, you need to talk to this guy, this guy's in red?
I mean, they followed suit, but the thing about it was almost in a command.
Okay.
Because you're bringing me in the office as a lieutenant, telling me I'm no good, I'm low in numbers, I'm not aggressive, I'm not this and that, but yet, has my sergeant spoken to me? Has my sergeant told me anything about this, or this is blindsided? What's going on? Well, I didn't want your sergeant to talk to you. I talked to you.
So sergeant, so you were never, you didn't get counseled by the road supervisor, who in fact is in your chain of command. So the lieutenant took it upon himself to bring you in. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Like a lot of these things could be mitigated if, like me, for example, if there's an issue like this and they talk to my direct supervisors, they're going to be like, yeah, well, Pete does X, Y, and Z every night.
Yeah.
He can't go out and get all these movers or parkers or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So there's a big compartmentalization in trying to, just from hearing this, because I've never heard this story before, just from hearing this, it looks like they're just using a certain tactic that they all agreed to, backdoor, to try and get rid of people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This is, I'm the first officer that's been terminated from this job, but I'm also the first officer that didn't take a deal to do what they wanted to do.
They people were taking deals?
I mean, they gave me the option of, we'll drop all the charges against you. The charges we have against you, we'll drop them all, but you got to drop your lawsuit and then you got to quit. So but you could get a job somewhere else in the county. Well, no, I can't because your chief blacklisted me everywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
So
wow.
You know, and like I said, this has happened before. This happened back in 2010 with another officer. I don't want to name his name because, you know, I don't really have his permission to, but he's a good friend of mine. And, you know, but it happened in 2010. The same people involved, the same everything. And
Anthony, when did this start for you?
This started probably in like 2014, I want to say, around that time period.
So is that when you first started getting counseled on this color code chart?
Yeah, that's when everyone was kind of like getting it, and then I was, you know, pretty much it was coming down on me.
Okay.
And then it got worse from there.
Okay,
It just got worse from there. I mean, it was just crazy.
So 2014. So with the dispatchers, now it's funny that the dispatchers get this color code too. What did it mean for the dispatcher for the color code? Did you ever find that out?
Well, we didn't have dispatchers. The sergeants would stay inside.
Oh,
so that was another thing too.
Okay.
You know, we wouldn't have a road boss, so the sergeant would be inside, and then you're on the road. You got to make a decision, and then if they didn't like you,
well, you're screwed.
You got Monday morning quarterback for the decision you made.
Yeah. Wow. That's a quite like hostile work environment, I would call it, right?
Let me ask you a question. Do you guys have a union?
What do you mean? Do we have one, or do they do something? Is that what you mean?
You know what?
Different things.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I mean, the thing about that is, the union that was there, or rather the people that were in charge at the time, I went to them, you know, and, you know, who was buddies with the chief, who was literally I would tell something in a union meeting or to them, and the chief would know in a second.
I've been in those meetings before, those type,
you know,
it's funny how the intent, my union used to be really strong.
Yeah.
And then within my 18 plus years, I've saw it complete 180, and it's now serving the administration that it is its members.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they try with a lot of things. And I know there's a lot of politics involved with certain things. There's a lot of give and take.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of
happens,
psychology
especially
that happens.
Bargaining, you know,
but at the end of the day, you know, you're paying your union dues. Your union member should be your number one priority.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
You know, because
you know what though? That's the issue there too, because, you know, I had to go seek outside counsel myself. And, you know,
that's why I'm asking.
Union dues. Right. I'm paying union dues, and you're not even helping me pay for an outside counsel. Yet it happened once before, and you paid for a sergeant's outside counsel, but you won't pay for mine. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what's going on here? This don't make no sense. But the lawyer that we had at the time, I actually put a complaint against him to the lawyers, I guess,
the bar association
district or whatever.
Yeah.
And the town actually brought that up and used it against me in the hearing.
No shit.
To make a complaint against him. Yeah. Which I didn't even know they knew, but I guess he must have complained because he was a piece of shit himself. He would literally grab me in meetings, outside meetings, whatever it may be, and he would say, "Oh, you know, they don't like you here. They don't like you at all. They don't like you. But if you write more tickets, they might leave you alone. Stay in their good graces." This is what this guy would say to me.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
that's awful.
I'm like, I'm paying you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on here?
Holy shit.
And all this is because you're just not, you know, quote unquote, not writing enough tickets.
I'm quote unquote not writing enough tickets. And then, you get the whole, well, you got an attitude.
Oh my God.
You're asking questions. But my thing was, you got a Yonkers attitude. You know?
Well, here's the thing though. Like the nature of our work, right? We're all alphas. We're cops. We're aggressive. We're out there. We're working, whatever. I mean, there are days, do I want to write a couple tickets? Yeah, whatever. I'll fucking go out there, do a couple traffic infractions. But you know what? I'm the type of cop that actually likes to do genuine police work, not just be a fucking ticket thumper, because that's not what I do. Except for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's a part of our job. It's sometimes you need to write that summons to get the point across. And sometimes you don't.
No.
Yeah, and
exactly.
you know, the fact that, you know, guys are, you know, where we work, there's a main roadway called 22.
Okay.
And I mean, for any given time, you'll see cops going back and forth on these roads. Why? Because they're looking for that brake light, that parking,
right.
You know what I'm saying? That headlight, that the tints on a car, something, because they already pulled over 3 cars and they couldn't get one. So now they got to go around and go and get
one. Was that New York State during our episode with Fit Cops? Was that New York State that had the speed week?
Yes.
Where they have to do like a blitz up on the highway.
Yes. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
That's amazing. Like, but again, though, like the drive behind writing tickets is taking away the whole idea behind the police. Right. Mm-hmm. I get it. Like you said, I agree with you. Sometimes you got to write a ticket because you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. You have to. But 9 times out of 10, like I don't, you know, and trust me, out of every 5, if I was to pull 5 cars over, one of them's going to, you know, write themselves a fucking summons.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have to try. You know, but here's the thing, you know,
but you know,
you're ignoring everything else though, because now you'll have junior cops, right? Younger cops who only worry about, I'm not getting enough tickets, yet, you know, they'll pull a guy over, except he's got 50 kilos of coke in the trunk, and completely ignore all the other signs of criminal activity that's going on in the car because they need that ticket.
I gave my brake light ticket. I did good. I did good, right?
Right.
You know, that's what so unbelievable.
My thing, I always talk to people. I try and be as reasonable as possible, right? And I tend to think that my academy class, and the people that I had were kind of a different breed than what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
When I've ever done anything in policing, whether it's investigatory, whether it's tactical, whether it's patrol or anything like that, we always base our job and our function on the reasonability, on a reasonableness aspect, right? Like anything I've ever done in any kind of criminal investigation, was it reasonable? Any traffic stop, was it reasonable?
Yeah.
You know, when I would look at going back to patrol was a little bit of an eye opener for me, because I thought guys were out there and fucking, you know, going up and down the street, writing tickets. And then I said to myself, wow, these guys are being reasonable. Like, if there's nobody out, you're not going to make the shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So we've deviated from it. And why I'm saying this is because we already have enough problems in fucking law enforcement.
I know.
We have enough problems with the media. We have enough problems with politicians.
Yeah.
Why is stuff like this an issue? Why is people like Anthony being put through the fucking ringer for no other reason? I can understand that if he was going to work every night and being a shithead and telling people to fuck off and, you know, it's just complete fucking off.
Yeah.
Not going to calls, this and that. A reasonable boss would be like, we got to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if he's getting,
I agree on that,
civilian complaints or something.
Yeah. I mean, so what shift did you primarily work when you were at patrol?
I like that, you know, the night shift from like 4 to 12 or 3 to 11.
That's the action shift.
Yeah.
So
the problem was that we rotated through them. So like, you know, and that's another thing too, like, you know, the town supervisor, being the, you know, back the blue guy that he out in public.
Yeah.
You know, on Christmas, he took our schedule away from us. We had a steady schedule that we were trying to work out, and he took it away from us and made us start rotating the clock, and then complained when guys were calling out sick and complained when tickets weren't up. I mean, there's really so much. I mean, the whole thing, like I said, from where I was with the color coding, it got worse. And what I mean by got worse is we had a guy who was literally a Monday through Friday guy. He would start at the south side of town, work his way up to the north side, and have 9 to 10 tickets a day. Never any arrests, but 9 to 10 tickets a day. And when he retired, I mean, those numbers are going to drop down drastically.
Right.
You know? So what they do, they put it onto patrol to bring those numbers up. And like you said, the junior guys going out there and not learning their job, they're learning how to write tickets and do everything like that, you know? And that's harmful in a sense. You know what I mean? But, you know, I've, you know, from talking to other people and just going through the motions with everything. I mean, you know, I was brought in for, again, you know, they didn't like a traffic stop that I did, that there was no complaint to it or nothing. It was like 3 months prior, but he, you know, he didn't have any videos for this one guy on the car video. So he looked at mine, deemed he didn't like it. and talked to me about it, which I thought was an okay meeting at first, then turns around and tells me that I'm too Yonkers ghetto, that I'm not Eastchester professional, that he wants me better, and that the way I perceive myself in uniform, he turns the computer around and pulls up a rap video and says, "This is what you look like on patrol."
What?
Oh, so I got gold chains and no shirt on and baggy pants. That's how I look in patrol.
My God.
So it sounds like you are talking like a normal everyday citizen to whoever you're dealing with, right? You're just shooting the shit with them, right? Nothing really. And to this supervisor who watches the body cam Monday morning quarterbacking you, says, "Oh, that's fucking Yonkers ghetto." Actually, I'm gonna start calling you that since you lived Yonkers ghetto.
Hey, motherfucker!
So to him though, that's Yonkers ghetto. If you're leveling with it, like here's the thing: we wear many hats depending on who I'm talking to, where I am. I'll change my demeanor.
You're like a chameleon.
Exactly. You adapt to whatever situation, whatever group, whatever culture you're talking to. You sort of adapt to their mannerisms. But that's human.
And the thing about it is that they didn't take the positive that came out of that. Yeah, okay, I wrote the kid a brake light ticket because, hey, listen, we were told to watch the school for drug activity and things like that, and there was kids there, and that's what it turned out to be. But what came positive about it and what he didn't like was that I asked one of the guys to get out of the car, one of the kids to get out of the car, and I was talking to him. But when I spoke to him, I got him so comfortable because he kept saying, all we do in town is get pulled over by you guys left and right. And we're harassed constantly. And I said, have you ever seen me? No. Have I ever stopped you? No. Have you ever talked to me? No. I said, well, hi. It's me now. You're talking to me. What's going on?
It's funny.
And he got so comfortable. The guy went back in the car. There was no issues. There was nothing.
I've had same interactions. I'm sure you have too. And I tell, and it's the same exact thing I say. I say, well, have you dealt with me yet? No. All right. Well, nice to meet you.
Right.
And break them down, Yeah.
9 out of 10 times I give somebody a ticket, they say thank you to me. 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. I've had guys that get yelled at, screamed at, cursed at, fingers blown at them, everything like that. 9 out of 10, I'm getting a thank you. And they're going off.
You're doing a lot more for the community than you are for just the department, and that's your function as a police officer.
That's the thing. We work for the people that we protect, not the administration of the department. Now, here's the thing: if the town supervisor is coming down saying you're not writing enough tickets, something tells me it's a revenue thing.
Exactly.
Like a business thing. This guy wants, because they get a cut of the tickets that goes to wherever, goes to the state or whatever, and then they get their portion. That's what they want.
Yeah, 100%.
So it goes back to us talking about how policing used as a fucking business for revenue is never good. It's horrible.
You got to understand, and people and listeners to our show need to understand that the revenue aspect of this, right, is like a business, and people don't understand the backside of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you know that you have X amount of gross funds coming in every year from citations, you can turn around and not only are you getting that money, but you can turn around and monetize that. You can sell municipal bonds, which is another profit-making tool, right? So if I know I'm getting $10 million a year from citations on average, and it's steady, I can sell $10 million worth of bonds after that because it's technically a revenue stream.
Yeah.
So it's compounding. People don't get this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Anthony, so you said things started getting even worse and worse and worse. So can you provide examples of like how things started to spiral and get worse?
Oh yeah. I mean, we started, so they have what's called like the traffic division. I call it a spare car. They're blacked out cars and they're, the elite guys or whatever. But, the thing about that is, you're going from the productivity standard in patrol, standard average that they calculate and to change every month, whatever it may be. Yeah. Now these guys are going out and they were writing roughly probably 30 tickets a month. Then it became 40, 50, 60. Wow. Now, they weren't really expected to write parking tickets. Some guys wrote a little bit, just to have a couple, whatever. But now they're being told to write more. So now these guys are writing more, but now the patrolmen aren't. And what's happening? Guys that are writing more are getting put in units. They're getting sent to schools. They're getting promoted, 100% promoted out of that car. And then all of a sudden you see a mass exodus from our department. We had probably... Without retirees, I want to say we had about 10 to 12 people leave in the matter of 5 to 6 years.
Out of a department of 50?
out of a department of 50.
Wow.
Staggering.
Yeah. So, not retirements, just leave the department.
Just leave the department. Now, if you add the retirements on that, it's as soon as they hit their 20.
Yeah.
The chief tries to bring, or the lieutenant try to bring charges against them, and then they just leave. They scatter out and they leave.
What do you mean bring charges? Like, so if you hit your 20.
Yeah, and he didn't like you. It was, you were in this unit, but I think that you were embezzling money. So, I'm going to investigate
What?
this now. It's like, what? What's going on?
No shit.
Yeah, man. I literally had a sergeant who was, I like this guy. I won't bash him or anything because I do like him. He was a funny dude.
Yeah.
But, he was leaving to go to another department upon his retirement. And he was a supervisor for me for probably maybe 2 months out of the year that I was with him because I think he was on vacation or whatever.
Yeah.
And they made him write an evaluation on me. And the evaluation on me was negative in a sense, like nothing crazy, but it was negative in a sense that they actually told him to rewrite it again and put that I was a cynical officer, that, I didn't work well and, this, that, and the third. But mind you, in our manual, I have to be evaluated by somebody who I at least worked with for 6 months to a year.
Which makes sense. That makes sense.
Right. Right.
Wow.
And then he actually, retired, went on, and, I don't stay in touch with him, but he comes around for functions and things like that. And he actually told me, he's like, I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for what they did. And I'm sorry for the way I had to do what I had to do, in a sense.
They put him in a corner.
Like, yeah. And that's what they do there. Everything is written down. Everything is put down and everything like that, which is crazy. Cause like, you don't think it's like that, but then you go and see your jacket, which, mind you, I saw my jacket after 2.5 months. I put a request in to see it. It took 2.5 months and a lawyer for me to see my own file.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Okay. And when I saw my file, this is going to blow your mind, but when I saw my file, right, I was looking for specific things in it because it took you 2.5 months. Well, what the hell's in here now?
Yeah.
So, are there complaints in there? No. Are there like anything bad about me from sergeant? No. Productivity issues. He doesn't write, this, that, and the third, right? But then I filed my EEOC charge back in 2019. And when the town came back with examples to use against me, there was an evaluation there from a sergeant that I'd never seen, that I asked for, that I didn't even know existed.
Magic.
There was a remedial training plan from the lieutenant that I was telling you about. And the training plan was, I had to go out, I had to make 10 car stops. I had to speak to the people and, this whole thing that he wrote and everything like that. But at the end of that, it's a 3-page document. At the end of that was a signature from me, from a sergeant, and from him. And then it would be signed off by the chief of police. And then you get the other one on the bottom to sign off that everything's done and completed. Well, it stood out to me because I said, I never signed this document. So whose signature is that? Wow. And then I started to really I said, maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I'm really going nuts now,
Yeah.
Then I got my jacket and I pulled that file and it was blank.
Oh shit.
And then I started really digging because I kept a journal and everything like that. And I started digging, and I know the dates that he put down is the date that I was with him and the sergeant that signed that. And he actually wrote a memo himself dating everything that took place in the meeting, but nothing about us signing. Nothing about me signing, nothing about him signing. I have it in that date that I didn't sign anything in there. So where did this signature come from?
No shit.
And then, us being cops, we got to keep investigating, going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Well, I'm right-handed. He's left-handed. My sister's left-handed. So when I started to compare the P's for PO for patrol, it started matching a left-handed person.
No shit.
And I started picking things out. Then I started looking even more, and there was 3 other documents that were like that with different signatures. Each one had a different signature.
Not yours. Your name, but not your specific signature.
Not mine. One was PO, and then my last name, and the shield number and date was all. I don't write my numbers like that because I have bad handwriting. And then then there was another one with my full name. Yeah. And I write my name a certain way. I write it like a star for the A. Yeah. This was up, cross down, and then come across. I don't write my name like that.
Yeah.
Another one had like a P going across, but then it was slanted and it was crossed, like someone screwed up and they had to do it again.
Wow. All I'm just listening to you talk. The word that keeps coming to mind is corruption.
Absolutely. And it gets crazy when you're really like, almost like you're feeling like you're alone because you're trying to speak to people about it. But at the same time that you're trying to speak to people, it's like they don't want to believe it, but they do want to believe it. Or,
right.
Like I said, are you going nuts? Are you not going nuts? And, it's a scary thing. And
so let me ask you,
that's not even,
have you gone to the ACLU? Have you gone to the feds? Have you gone to, because everything keeps saying corruption to me. And it's like the kid can't go to anybody in the city because everybody's on the fucking take. He can't go to anybody in the state because nobody in the state's going to do anything about it.
Dude, I've gone to, they give you training. They give us a police one training. They give us all this stuff on what we can do. I've followed everything. I've told the union. I've told the lawyer. I've told the sergeants. I've told the superior officers. I've told the chief of police who was in on it. And the last thing to do is to tell the supervisor, the town supervisor, who was our mayor. And guess what? My stepfather reached out and spoke to him and the town attorney and told him what was going on before I even filed the charge. And they told me, we know about his aggressive behavior. We know what he's like. We've dealt with this before. We'll take care of it. Just vote for me. We'll take care of it. Make sure I get in and we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Right.
My hatred.
So that's
for
what happened. And then guess what happened? They started
always...
investigating my family. They started going after my family because somebody made a complaint that wasn't legitimate. And instead of listening to me, they started to investigate and then tried to get me in and interrogate me and get me to call on something that I didn't do.
No.
So I was like, this is the last straw, man. I said, I need an outside lawyer because I said, this is getting crazy now.
Things certainly got worse, man, as time went on. And it sounded like they just didn't like that you were putting up that fight. They thought you were going to roll over and whatever, go back to just writing the tickets and whatever
business as
else.
usual.
Because business as usual type shit.
Right.
Wow.
And I mean, we went to, we had union meetings and I went to every union meeting. I was trying to get involved with everything. I really was. And, there was one union meeting that was like something stupid. It was about like our scheduling or something like that. It wasn't supposed to take a long time, but guys actually started standing up for me. They were saying, what the hell's going on? This guy's getting fucked with and you're not doing anything about it. And then, the lawyer, I don't know what's going on. The union, I don't know what's going on. What do you mean you don't know what the fuck's going on?
They know. That's the thing.
And
they
then,
know.
Right. And then all of a sudden it gets back to the chief and the chief writes this email to the union. Oh, this is the reasons why we did this and this and this and that and this and that. Well, wait a minute. You lied to me because you told me something different when we were in the meeting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
wow.
Dude, it was getting so worse and so worse and so worse.
Imagine that though. You're dealing with the streets, right? Calls, fucking whatever, shootings, stabbings, crime, whatever.
Traumatic shit. You come back to your PD where you'd like to think it's a secure location where you can kind of do a sigh of relief. This is my home base. Yeah.
Exactly. But 9 times out of 10, though, how many cops do you know that say they feel better when they're outside working rather than going back into the building?
Yeah.
I mean, we hear it all the time across the country, where cops say that they'd rather deal with the most homicidal fucking maniac out on the road than deal with their own fucking guys, because the guys on their job are willing to stab each other in the back, which is the worst. Like, talk about 100% Blue Falcons, especially like at your, at this police department you worked at. They were out for this. You know what I mean? Like that's all they were. So to me, like, it sounds like, so traffic division, you get into that traffic division, it means you're like the elite of the elite. You get all this, you get all this, where in reality, like at my job, you work patrol, you show you're productive, you show you're doing shit outside the box thinking. That's what our chief loves. Like, outside the box, you solve this problem by not doing something traditionally. You did something different, and I liked it.
Right.
And he sees that. He'll pluck you, put you detectives, put you task force, put you wherever, because he knows that he can trust you because you have that common sense and intellect to do the job.
That's how it should be.
And that's how it should be. But at your place, you go into traffic unit, right? Fucking 100 tickets a month. Oh yeah, no, we're going to put you in a homicide unit. Like, good job.
It's all about numbers. Yeah, it's annoying.
That's what it comes down to. I mean, we had to get sheets after the color-coded ones. We got sheets that would, MVA, domestic, and you would write down, how many calls you got that day, this and that, to justify the fact that you weren't writing enough tickets or whatever it may be. Yeah, man. And then you would get deficiency notices, and the deficiency notices would be, you'd have to be put on a detail to go and write more tickets. Guys would, if they didn't have enough tickets, they couldn't switch mutually. They couldn't have people switch with them mutually. Their personal days were getting denied. It's horrible. And, and they'll say, oh, I'm a disgruntled employee. I'm telling you nothing. This is the true stuff. And, emails don't lie.
No.
Okay.
Right.
And emails from the chief that you don't think exists that says, we won't promote you if you have deficiencies on your file. That's from the chief. You know what I mean?
You know what? It boggles my mind. Don't these people realize that we live in fucking 2021?
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 of these things, like the quotas, they're illegal.
Yeah.
You can't be asking people to fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
Dude, 215A, I believe it's Article 215A of the labor law states that you cannot have a quota system in New York State. And it is, you can't relocate somebody for their position. You can't reassign them somewhere. You can't do anything like that. And yet I'm getting emails. My boss is getting emails, and just give me 1 second here to get it.
So there's it's unreal. While you're trying to find it, so it's just. Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead then.
So like my boss gets an email. So I received your monthly evaluations of activity forms from me. He had an increase from his productivity in July and August. However, he is still below the monthly average for the third month in a row, even after being given daily assignments. Although he is below, he has shown improvement. Continue to monitor him on your own and ensure that he continues his improvement going forward. If he continues to be below average, monitoring forms will be issued along with supervisor ride-alongs and sector reassignments. His productivity will be reviewed mid-month, so please make sure he knows this before he goes on vacation. Know what's expected of him.
So it's funny how they're wording it, right? Productivity. They're not mentioning tickets, right? It's not about tickets. It's about quote unquote
they're being
productivity.
cute. They're being cute.
Yeah, they're being cute. So like to me, like outside looking in, they're saying that you're being a shitbag cop. You're not doing anything. You're not doing your job. So yeah, they're gonna write you up. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. Yeah, you pit everywhere. You don't do. You don't go your calls, or you go late to your calls. Stuff like that. But in reality, what that letter is actually saying. So if you take productivity out and you put tickets. In every one of those sentences, that's what they're actually talking about. They're talking about tickets.
My question, what stood out to me, obviously there's a lot of good info there, right? But what stood out to me was the line of what's expected of him. Hold on. What's expected of me? Who's giving you this outline of what's expected of me? Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Where does this info and these expectations come from?
Yeah.
Right. That would be like a little bit of a point of contention for me. Yeah. Like, Who's dictating what's expected? Please let me get this reasoning.
Yeah,
what's expected of me? Go ahead.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's unreal that it's funny again. Like with all the emails and letters that KP read, they never once say. Or they do a disclaimer at the end of the email.
This isn't about quotas. Quotas are illegal.
Yeah, quotas are illegal.
Right.
It's like the disclaimer. Now, again, the average, the productivity, those are all business management terms.
Right.
Not policing terms. It shouldn't be in policing.
I see a slippery slope of, and again, it comes back to how much shit we're getting from the media, how much negativity we're getting from the media and from politicians and all that. And we're running into all these things add up to public integrity violations.
Big time.
Our main function is to hold the line between order and chaos, right?
Yeah.
To serve and protect our people.
Yeah.
What does fucking Anthony's goddamn parking numbers have anything to do with it?
Well, I told you my story about the smoking sites.
Right. I just arrested a fucking cartel.
Yeah.
But your smoking citations are down.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Dude, and the crazy thing about that email, to go back to that too, is, dude, this was coming out of COVID. Like this was like the summer of coming out of COVID,
okay,
bro.
Yeah.
So like I'm at work and the guys are like, dude, we're not writing anything. We're waving at people. We're taking everything at one at a time. And then all of a sudden it was go to write tickets. So, all right. So I wrote one ticket. I went on average with everyone else. People were writing zeros. I wrote one just to have one. And I get brought in and it's like, well, I don't want you writing 1, but I don't want you wanting 20. So you have to write somewhere in between. So I say to myself, okay, I'll do better. So I go out there and I write the average of what everyone else was, maybe 5, 7, whatever it was. And then, he improved, but he's not where he should be. Like you said, like he's not where he should be. But
According
wait
to
a minute,
who?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, no, according to who? According to the higher ups, the command staff. That's according to them, because to them, they're working with averages and productivity and management shit.
Oh, so not reality.
Not reality.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
All right. Just wanted to clear that up.
That's the expectation is not reality. That's all, that's all it is. Oh my God.
And that's, man, that's, and that's how, and the crazy part about it is like, I would like to say it was everybody that was getting this, but it wasn't. My boss was getting harassed constantly.
Right.
Constantly with anything that had to do with me. And then when I started questioning it more, and I had my lawyer reach out, he even said to the town, hey, you're on a ticket quota now. This is a ticket quota.
Right.
You're enforcing a ticket quota. And then he got pissed off and told my boss to tell me, the town said that, we're not enforcing ticket quotas, that this is totally legal. And that, if you want to fight them on it, you can. But I never wrote that email. Never wrote the email.
Yeah, but you have the email in front of you.
Right. And the best part about it is my stepfather went to a board meeting and read this out loud. And that lieutenant got so nervous from it. He brought the sergeant in. Where did he get this email from? Why did you give it to him? You know who gave it to me? The chief of police.
Yeah.
He gave it to me in my folder. That's who gave it to me.
Wow.
Your boss gave it to me.
Wow.
Oh my God. It's amazing what happens when some of these people are put into corners.
Wow.
Man.
So we're getting close to time. So let's go over kind of like the your termination, like, all this is snowballing and everything. And how did that come about? The termination aspect.
So, I mean, listen, long story short with everything, there was a call that happened for service. I was a backup officer for it. I was with a rookie officer, things got a little crazy on the scene, and, detaining a guy turned into, finding drugs on him, and then they deemed it an unlawful arrest. And just to get into that very quickly, it was a 1-car MVA at 2:00 in the morning. There was alcohol involved. There was, marijuana at the time was not legal yet. So that was involved. The guy was suspended, his girlfriend or whatever she is was, nervous because she was like, you're going to ruin my license. You're going to ruin me, and then found out he was driving, got nervous. So as the rookie officer's talking to him, he leaps into the vehicle. So I brandish my taser on him to get compliance. I put him up against the storefront window. I'm talking to him like, dude, what are you doing here? Like, you're not listening to anything. You could be arrested for OGA, but I don't want to do that to you. So I tell the rookie, I said, listen, he's not listening. He's digging his hands into his pocket. Something's going on here. He's nervous about. Let's just detain him for the time being and get him off the scene.
That sounds like a normal,
all reasonable
yeah,
right.
actions. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, so I told the rookie, I said, listen, get your cuffs and put him on him. And it was freezing out. It was like really a cold night. He was, shaking, nervous. He couldn't get him off. I got my cuffs. I just put him on him. I call it out too. I'm detaining one.
Yeah.
So I get him off the scene.
Yeah.
I put him towards the vehicle, and then I got him into the vehicle, and, I started to just, search his pockets just quick, just to see if he had any weapons or anything on him, everything like that. He was totally fine with it. And then, I realized, I said, you know what, this dude's got a satchel on him or a fanny pack. I said, I don't want him to have that in the car right now. Let me take it off. But I cuffed him already. I said, let me just take it off. So as I was taking it off of him and I grabbed it, it was like a squishy, like pack, like it didn't have a hard contact to it.
Yeah.
So when I grabbed it, I syringe.
Yeah. Oh,
so
okay.
I open it a little bit more and I'm like, what's this? And he's like, oh, it's a pen. It wound up being a, one of those novelty pens that looks like a syringe. But next to that was a thing of drugs.
Okay.
But did I know it was drugs at the time? No, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. I didn't test it. I didn't do anything. So again, the guy's just detained. He's not under at that point. You know what I mean? But then the rookie comes over. This guy's license is suspended. All right. So listen.
So now he's under arrest.
Right. He's under.
Yeah.
We'll bring him inside. We'll figure out what's going on. The boss is cool with that. Sounds good. So we clean up everything. We get we get inside. The boss is at the desk. We do our little routine that we have to do. And the boss looks at the rookie officer and goes, okay, this is your arrest. Bring him into the cell room. We search him. I'm behind him as the assisting officer. The sergeant is right there present during the whole thing. we come out, we get a medical attention. They do SFSTs, DWI stuff on them, clear them off as not being intoxicated, but maybe intoxicated on a narcotic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just behind the scenes now. And then I go back in to put him in the cell with the other guy, and I find more drugs on the floor. So I said, all right, boss, we got to do something. So he comes in, let's do a second search. I was out of the room. They did a strip search. They found more narcotics on him. The boss signed off on it that everything was good. They started writing their reports up. They started doing everything like that. And I was just there for whatever he needed me to do. I was helping him out at the desk. I was, whatever we needed to do. And I thought everything went well. And then I had to write my supplemental the next day because the computer system wasn't working. It was just, it was a shit show thing. But anyway, the next day I come in and write my supplemental. And I don't think that they realized this, but when I wrote my supplemental, I had a sergeant next to me and then a lieutenant who was helping me write the supplemental report with the video camera footage rolling.
The body cam.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only way to get that is through a supervisor. We don't have access to that.
Yeah.
So just to throw a little background too, I've had like 2 or 3 off-duty arrests, like good arrests, and I've had other jurisdictions write their reports and I write my report and it looks identical. Never had an issue with a report whatsoever. So I wrote my report based on what I relating it with a sergeant and lieutenant. Told me it was good to go. Next day, lieutenant's like, yeah, it's good to go. All of a sudden, they find narcotics, I guess, the next day on him that I was unaware about, but it wasn't my arrest. So I was like, hey, it is what it is. All of a sudden, man, I call out for COVID because 2 coworkers I was next to had COVID and I thought I was getting sick and they started coming down on me. You got to get a doctor's note to come back. We think you're lying, this, that, and the third. Then they call me in and tell me you're coming in for an interview. I said, for what? Oh, for this incident. So I didn't know. Maybe it was about the cell room because they found narcotics in there. I didn't know what it was about.
Yeah.
Dude, you were insubordinate. You were derelicted your duty. What? You made an unlawful arrest. You didn't search the guy properly. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. Then they said, oh, well, your report doesn't match the video. And I'm like, so I get the report and underneath the report, there's like usually a timestamp of like when it's timed and dated and everything like that. I didn't timestamp because I knew the boss had to review it and I didn't see it since. Yeah. All of a sudden I look at the report. The format is different. There's sentences that were added in that said that I searched the guy outside of the vehicle, which I didn't because it's on video.
Somebody altered your report?
And then
so it sounds like
it says
copy
that
to paste Microsoft Word, add stuff, put it back. Yeah.
Yeah. I said that. Then it said, oh, I asked for consent to search the fanny pack or satchel, but it didn't say it in the video. So why would I write that if I was watching the video? Does that make sense?
Right.
Wow.
But yet that's what's being used. And when I kept saying, not only to the job, but to outside sources that I wanted to come and investigate that the report's being altered, I'm like, maybe I'm bugging out again, but I know that I didn't write that because I know how I write my reports. I never had an issue. Long story short, I go into the hearing and they present the same arrest report or whatever. And then they black out the name. They redact the name because they dropped the charges of the report. My lawyer picks up on it and goes, look at the bottom under your name. And I said, what's this? And it's the sergeant's timestamp and the date on which he reviewed the report. He's the only one that was able to review the report. And it's logged in on the computer because they tried to call me a liar saying that I couldn't log in. I lied about that, which I actually phoned the company the day before saying I can't log into the computer. I'm having an issue. But the login report shows that the sergeant went back into that report numerous times. And that last date was the last day he went back in there. 5 days before they interviewed me. And they didn't show me the report with the timestamp. They showed me the report without the timestamp.
So they showed you like a draft version or whatever, like it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. The completed has the timestamp date. Our system does the same thing where as soon as you shoot it off, bam, it's stamped.
Because they knew that the last time I saw that report, I didn't have a timestamp on it.
No shit.
And they forgot about it. Got the report, put it in, and I go, what's this? Nobody could know. Everybody's mouth shut. They didn't know what to say.
Wow,
bro, you're being targeted. Again, you and I haven't spoken at all about this. This is the first time I'm hearing any of this information. I like to think of myself as a reasonable person sometimes, but everything that I'm hearing is you're being targeted. I can imagine, not to diminish what's going on with you, but I can imagine what's going on to other officers in your department that they aren't speaking up about.
Right. And that is an issue. And that's That's one of the main reasons why I didn't resign and let this thing go, because they're going through things, and I know they are, because I just know they are. And it's very disheartening because there's good guys there that are really trying to do the right thing and are really, and literally one of them already has been told, you're the next Anthony, because they're going after him.
Oh my God, man.
Shit.
You know,
Wow.
and just to put you in perspective of what you're dealing with here, besides the administration, because I mean, I could talk for days, but my chief of police lost his weapon. His gun, his off-duty weapon was not in a safe zone and was taken by his son, an unauthorized user, was gone for weeks to months at a time. He did not report it to command because we knew nothing about it until there was a domestic at his house, which they turned into a medical. And then they found the gun in the nearby jurisdiction in a vehicle. Okay. The town supervisor wouldn't speak a word about it to anyone, said that his punishment was harsh, this and that. He was never suspended. He never had his idea shield taken away. He never had his weapons taken away. He was never modified. His pay never went away, anything like that, which, you know what? I don't mind his pay not being away, whatever it is. But nothing came down on it. He didn't even go through remedial training on anything.
Wow.
And they wouldn't let it out until finally I foiled for it, and they finally gave it to me. He got 7 vacation days taken away from him.
That's it.
Losing a weapon.
Dude, fucking guys have been fired for losing a weapon, you know, or suspended for. The most I've heard is someone getting suspended for 6 months for losing a weapon. Oh my God!
If it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. Yeah. All I'm seeing here is corruption.
Yeah.
From everything this guy is telling us, all I'm seeing is corruption.
Yeah.
And people being targeted unnecessarily, unfairly, because of this good old boys network fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Anthony, we got about a minute and a half before we got to let go. So you got tens of thousands of people that listen to us. You got about a minute and a half to tell them whatever you want to tell them. Go for it.
I just want to tell them to speak up. I mean, you got to speak up. The corruption is real. I know what you're going through. Listen, everyone at my job pretty much ghosted me. I'm alone. Guys I thought were my friends and family, they ghosted me. But I'm not done, and I'm going to keep fighting, because that's what needs to happen. And anyone in Westchester County that wants to reach out to me, email me, call me, talk to me. I will meet you. It's already happened with a couple of others. I will meet you. Yeah, you're not alone.
Wow.
You know, this is a brotherhood, and we're doing ourselves a disservice by letting all this fuckery going on.
That's why I've always said it takes us boots on the ground to do this.
Yeah.
Because we're the only ones who are able to do it.
Anthony, thanks so much for coming on, man. Stick around for a couple minutes so we can talk after the show, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Iman.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
I figured I'd get your blood pressure nice and up, but hey, fucking talk about corruption.
Jesus Christ, man. Guys, listen, just like Anthony said, we gotta, and Iman said, we gotta stick together with a lot of this shit. There's stuff that's gonna happen everywhere, right? But we need to take control of it. We have an obligation to the public.
Yep.
We have an obligation to each other as police officers.
Yep.
And we have an obligation to guys like Anthony who've been fucked over for no reason.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, man.
It is.
Well, we want to say thank you to all of our tens of thousands of listeners, our supporters. We have AAA Police Supply. Don't forget to go AAAPolicesupply.com and enter the code Project Sapient. You get 20% off. I want to say thank you to our supporters, DCD Automotive, the Boch Group. They're massive. Vector Shields, Gym Junkies, Havoc Journal, our partners at the Weekly Havoc Podcast, Second Mission, Live Boston 617, Wellness for Warriors, OD Kit, Eagle Eye Firearms, GunTrack, Hule Law, Fit Cops, 22 Mohawks, and Joint Operations. We love you. Stay safe.
Stay sapient.